Hi friends, welcome back to my studio. I'm Katie and today I'm doing the 8 pen questions for 2024 anniversary YouTube hop. I don't know. Yes, anniversary hop is what this email says to me. So if you haven't already seen some of the videos that have come out, there's one so far for every day in March, and now things are going into April. So yesterday's was from Maria. I'll put her YouTube channel in the description below, and so you can check that out. And then it will be continuing with Miss Marilyn Darling tomorrow on the 6th and keep going. So keep an eye on the hashtag, and I think we'll be promoting each other's videos as well. So hang out with us there. But today's my turn. And to be honest with you, I didn't do one of these last year. I was definitely around making YouTube videos last year when this launched. But I thought about participating and I didn't. And the reason that I didn't is because I thought the questions were really interesting to watch other people answer, but I didn't necessarily feel like they fit that well on me in general. And so I just kind of let it go by. But this year I'm going to answer them, although you may notice that some of the answers are kind of non-answers, and we'll see what happens. But I thought it would be fun to participate, and they were trying to get to a whole month of people, and I was happy to be involved with that with my friends. So let's go ahead and do it. I got my latte here and my pens and some ink off camera, so we're ready to go. So the first question is, when and how did your fountain pen journey begin? So for me, it started with this particular Pilot Kakuno, which I've currently stripped for parts, but it's not retired. I still use it. What had happened is that I was already, let's be clear, I was already a pen and stationery person. I have been going around this kind of thing for, I don't know, my whole life. I've got drawers. I have drawers full of like felt tipped like calligraphy markers and all that kind of stuff. So to be honest with you, I don't know how it didn't start earlier, but for me, it was in April of 2022. I was looking around YouTube. I found Karina Loves to Plan's channel for planner stuff, specifically the Hemlock and Oak planner stuff, which wasn't even a planner I owned. It was just one I was looking at. And she was one of the few people who had videos about it. She'd already stopped using it by the time I was watching her videos about it. She'd moved into the Hobonichi Cousin so that she could use her fountain pens more effectively in it. So I was able to just kind of binge a lot of content. And it really spoke to me because I had already been kind of chafing against the kind of colors that my favorite pen was available in. So my favorite pen at the time was the Pentel Energel in the 0.3 millimeter needlepoint, and it was only available in black and like a primary red and a primary blue. And I loved the black one, but the other colors like didn't work for me, and I was really chafing against it, and I was having trouble finding gel pens that I liked the idea of in that super fine nib size in other colors. And so I got this Pilot Kakuno in the extra fine because I was hoping to kind of get that still super precise point and then be able to change colors. And that was so much fun, but it wasn't, there was only like 2 days between when I received this and when I ordered my next one, the Diplomat Magnum in a medium, because I had an extra fine and I wanted to try something really different. So I got like a Western medium, and it just kind of exploded from there. Like a lot of people, I had a pretty intense and obsessive kind of kickoff in which I wanted to try a lot of things. I was buying a lot of stuff very impulsively, and I just like I wanted to try everything I could get my hands on. I'm thankful that that time didn't last as long as it could have. I ended up falling into a place where I really loved the Yo-O number 6 nibs, and I got there within the first 6 months of my journey. I fell in love with the idea of swappable Yo-O number 6 nibs. This is again another pen that I've currently got taken apart apparently, but this was my pen from Just Turnings. I had got it for my birthday in 2022, and that was when I started getting custom ground nibs, and so then I was really excited to be able to swap them in and out, and almost every pen I've purchased since then, so for the last year and a half of my 2-year journey has been pens that are compatible with that kind of nib, because that's really what I love. So that's how my fountain pen journey began. I wanted colors. Question number 2 is, what are your favorite inks in the beginning? What are your go-to inks now? So this is something that hasn't really changed for me. This is my ink and pen compendium. And I'm mostly just showing it so there's something on screen. I have always been a samples girl from the very beginning. I was just taken with samples. I intended to never buy a single bottle of ink, was my plan. I have not stuck to that, although I'm proud of what I have done. So for the most part, it's all samples, because I couldn't really imagine wanting to store something at the expense of being able to try new things. So at the beginning, I was very into these like extremely bright colors, the sorts of things that you would never be able to get in just like your run-of-the-mill gel pen. Obviously, there are colored gel pens out there. I was very into like this Yamabuki, for example. Very into shading, very into chroma shading. Not into shimmer, which I have now picked up an interest in, and not into sheen, which I'm still not really very interested in. But just lots of samples. Now, some of the things I have fallen in love with since are like this Robert Oster Muddy Bucket. I'm a huge Muddy Bucket fan. Partly because I love the color, and partly because I love the words Muddy Bucket. And then I do often tend to gravitate towards these like purpley gray kinds of colors. I still stay far away from things that feel like primary reds and blues like I used to be restricted to. And for the first year or so, I never even used black. I do use black quite a lot now, but for a long time I did not. And so that's kind of where my ink loves are. I have since bought quite a lot of volume of ink in bottles. I bought 9 of these Birmingham Pen Co. 100 ml bottles. So while it is technically counter to my no bottle policy, I bought these specifically because they are mixable ink, and they are essentially in like not primary colors but base colors, so that I can essentially mix my own samples. So kind of both the no bottle and the kind of both a bottle and a sample in my mind, and my mind is the one I have to live with. So I have since gotten into shimmer inks. As I mentioned, I do like the Wearing Goal glitter potions where you can add them to inks. I really like mixing my own stuff, and so my sample collection is diminishing. I still have quite a few. My sample holder holds, I don't know, like 80 or something, and I probably have more than 60, but I haven't been adding to them lately, so we'll see if I pare them down or if I just repurchase more samples. We'll see, but that's where the ink situation is. Number 3 is, how have your ink and pen tastes changed over time? I think I've already kind of touched on that. I have become more willing to do more sedate colors than I started off on. You know, at first I was really binging like the wildest colors I could find. Now, you know, I love a good brown or, you know, muddy bucket or whatever. So I think we've covered that. I do like shimmer now, which I didn't really at the time. In terms of pens, we talked about, really, at first I just wanted to try a bunch of things. So I had like a few pilots and the Diplomat and whatever, but I fell into the number 6 Yovo game pretty quickly, and I really haven't deviated much from that. I did fall in love with the Sailors, though. I have a Pro Gear that's off being cleaned in my bathroom, but so I have a couple Sailors that I really love that are the exception to the number 6 rule. And then I do use these Jinhao 5082s a lot for my 5-year journal pigment inks and for like taking to work with me. But for the most part, now not all of these are exactly Yovo number 6s, but they're kind of compatible. So like this Narwhal is compatible, and with a little bit of hacking, the Benus are compatible, and the Esterbrook, and then the like custom made ones. So that's where I landed on pretty quickly, and I haven't deviated very far from that so far. All right, number 4 is, are there inks and pens you have yet to try but would like to? Absolutely. Inks, I mean, I would be content to try every ink that's out there. I probably won't get to it, but you know, that would make me happy. I love an ink, and I don't need very much of it. You know, I do like the Van Ness 4mm samples, but I'm really cool with the Goulet 2mm samples as well. I just want to fill and a swatch, and I'm good for the most part, unless it's something I really love. Often when I find something I really love, I still don't buy a bottle. I just buy another sample, but maybe a 4mm sample this time. I don't write enough to get through bottles and bottles of stuff. Or I try to mix a recipe from the Birmingham inks I have. In terms of pens I would like to try, I mean, there are all kinds of things I would like to try. That's the question. Yeah, not necessarily to own, but to try. I'd love to try a Pelikan. Karina loves her M800s, and that makes me very intrigued. There's been a lot of discussion lately in the Discord about Scribos. I would love to try one of those. So yeah, I mean, in terms of try, there's nothing I wouldn't enjoy trying. In terms of like wanting to buy, I don't have a lot that's officially on a wish list right now. I think I might do a video soon on like a tale of 2 pens. There was this pen here and this one here, and kind of I had wildly different emotional reactions to receiving each of these, and I kind of want to talk about that. This one was the more recent one, and I wonder if most of my pen acquisition is behind me, based on some of the feelings I had there. So in terms of what I'm wishing to purchase, I don't have a very strong wish list. I have some, mine is less about specific pens or inks and a little more features that I want. Like, I'd like to get a matte pen. I'd like to get something that takes a number 6 Yovo that I feel comfortable taking with my planner with me to and from work. So like, more like attributes than specific pens at this point. Although I am in the market for a Visconti Mythos Mirage. That is something that I'm like actively moving towards. Number 5. What is your holy grail pen? Here's one where I'm just gonna dodge the question. I really don't feel like I have one. I joked with Karina when I received this pen, and I asked her if I could make it my Grail pen and like retroactively, because I wouldn't have called it a Grail pen when I was looking to buy it. For the record, this is a silver burl nonagon made with quartz strata and a custom clip. I mean, I was very excited to get it. I definitely wanted it, but I was so deeply and instantly in love with it when it arrived that I kind of wished it had been something that I had spent more time like yearning for and hoping for beforehand, because it is like just perfect. And so we joked about whether or not it could be retroactively my Grail pen. It's everything I want in a pen. In terms of now, like looking forward towards Grail pens, I have pens that other people would consider Grail pens that I might want to get, something like a Visconti Homo sapiens, or maybe a Pelican M800, but they don't really hold that place in my heart, like that kind of like, I know I'm saving up for this and I know that I want it feeling. I can't think of anything like that that currently holds that place in my heart. Things are just kind of like, oh yeah, maybe someday if I feel like it kinds of feelings. So I don't know. It's just not how the place my brain currently is in. Number 6, how many pens do you currently own? I don't know. I thought about counting for this video and I did not want to. I very consciously have not kept track of the number of my pens, and I didn't really feel like changing that for this video. It's somewhere between 20 and 30. I have enough data to know that. Yeah, it's somewhere between 20 and 30. And I'm a scientist by day. I spend a lot of time quantifying things, and I've made a conscious decision not to spend as much emotional energy quantifying my hobbies as I could, and so this is essentially an act of self-care not to know. I have a very intuitive sense of how many I have. Like, I am very aware, but I don't know what the number is, and it kind of depends on what you count and what you don't count. So somewhere between 20 and 30. Do I have a limit on the pens or inks in my collection? Is it a number? Is it a feeling? When do you know that you've reached the maximum? That's number 7. Absolutely. And that's a big part of it. It's definitely not a number, as you can tell, because I don't know where I'm at. But it's certainly a feeling, and I'm pretty much there. I mean, not that I will never acquire another pen again, but that I feel saturated. It's got to be the right pen to come in again. So we'll see. Last year, I committed to only buying 5 pens. I have a video that I'll link to where you can see that it's true that I only net purchased 5 pens, but more came in and out. This year I don't have a number. I have a monetary budget for the year, and we'll see, but I expect the numbers to be pretty small this year unless something really crazy happens. Maybe 3. I kind of feel like I'm on a decreasing curve. So I don't know, we'll find out. But yes, it's a feeling, and for me it's, on my pen tray, this is the number I want to have inked at a time. I want to be able to ink almost all of my pens within a month or 2. I don't want to have big rotations or big collections that aren't being rotated. And so for me, in order to get the coverage I want with the number of pens, we're pretty close to it. And so this is my little pen tray. It's filled. It's overfilled. There are pens in the bathroom right now that have just been cleaned. It's overfilling. It's not a good feeling. On the one hand, I want to buy more storage. On the other hand, I want to buy enough storage for this number of pens. I don't want to buy something I can really like grow into very much. So that's still coming, but that feeling of like things are disorganized, things are full, that really motivates me to not want more pens, and I kind of want to stay in that feeling. Not like a bad feeling, just like a full feeling, you know, like I've eaten the right amount of cake. Maybe I'll have a couple more bites, but like I'm not having another slice. That's how I feel. In terms of inks, I don't have any limit on my number of samples besides how many will fit in my container. If they keep rotating in and out, perfect. Happy with that. In terms of bottles, there's 1 or 2 more Birmingham base color bottles I would like to own, and then I'm done. Like, no more, man. So that's 900 mils right there. So plenty of ink. And then number 8, consequently, what would you do if another pen or ink came along? I guess I kind of addressed that. The borders aren't closed. It's just that, you know, I've had the right amount of cake for the most part. So it'll need to be the right cake to eat another bite or two. So anyway, I hope you found this fun. I'll put a link below to the video I mentioned about what pens came in and out of my collection last year. That kind of gives a whole collection overview if that's a thing that interests you. The only thing that's come in since then is this Banu, which, for the record, it's not a bad pen. My feelings about it are not because of it. They're because of me. So maybe look forward to that pen. Make sure to check out Miss Marilyn Darling's video tomorrow. And if you've missed some of the previous ones, we'll follow the hashtag. I don't know, you can find them, but Maria's was yesterday, and I'll definitely put a link to hers, or her channel at least, in the description below. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more from me, you can hit the subscribe button. And thanks for doing the 8 pen questions hop, either watching or participating. If you want to make a video, go ahead, please. We're trying to get as many as possible out. If you want to do it as part of the hop, like with a scheduled day, I will put the link to the sign-up sheet below. Talk to you soon. Bye, friends.